Ladies and gentlemen, the IGN Pro League continues with KatZ versus Select, currently 1 apiece in a best-of-5 series. The action is hotting up right now, as Select was able to execute a perfect, and I do have to emphasize perfect, bunker push early on in the game against his opponent. KatZ was not able to deal with it. Excellent placement of the bunkers there, pretty much bang on in every respect. KatZ is in a little bit of trouble right now if he is unable to push away that kind of thing, and we'll have to see whether or not he can cope with it this time around as we go into Game 3. And remember, folks, your chance to win a 3DS courtesy of IGN over on IGN.com/IPL. Are you ready? I certainly am. My name is TotalBiscuit, and I'll be bringing you all the action from today's matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tal'Darim Altar, which will be the venue for today's encounter. I bring you Select from Team Dignitas. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Terran down to the southwest. And he's versus his opponent, the one and only KatZ of Team Root. He is in the yellow trunks, and he is playing Zerg up to the northwest. Tal'Darim Altar is known for lengthy games, a lot of the time. Depends who you're really talking to and, of course, who you happen to have in the matchup. If there's a Protoss in the matchup, then you can, more often than not, expect a 4-gateway attack, and the game usually ends between 7.5 and 8 minutes. However, with a Zerg and a Terran player, this could go on for quite some time, and I am looking forward to it. Who doesn't like a nice, long, macro game with plenty of violence, tech, and variety? And that's exactly what you get when you get Select versus KatZ, two very flexible players. They abide by nobody's rules, folks. Nobody's rules. And while some people might consider that KatZ is a cheesy player, I don't personally believe that. I think he's just inventive and flexible, and also a little bit mad. Let's just bear that one in mind. KatZ is insane, in a good way. You know, he's the lovable kind of insane. He's the adorable kind of insane that everybody knows and loves. He's the mad professor of Zerg, and he plays so very, very well when he is allowed to break out some crazy builds. That's what you expect to see from him. First barracks coming down for Select. Will he follow it up and go for yet another bunker push? With the size of the map, he may not, especially since he's actually not going to find where his opponent is with this initial run, and probably won't find it with the next one either. The chances are he'll end up going up here, and of course his opponent is doing exactly the same thing. And a hatchery coming up right now for KatZ, and we are not seeing that double barracks push with the bunkers. It's not going to happen because he's got a refinery coming down, so that's smart. It's a case of fool me once, shame on me. Or indeed, the other way around. Fool me twice, shame on me, and fool me once, shame on you. And honestly, KatZ will be able to deal with that without too much of a problem if it happens to come his way, which, of course, it's not right now. KatZ in a nice position. He's not going to really run into any particular early game aggression right now with that barracks coming down. No sign of a tech lab on it as of yet. It might follow up the Marine. Certainly a possibility. He's now got the Vespene gas that he needs. Could maybe see a Reaper into a fast expansion, but right now he's gone straight into another Marine, so no Reaper action right now. Also, this is not even a great map for Reapers. It lacks cliffs. That's the real problem with them. It actually lacks cliffs around the bases, so Reaper play is suboptimally. Idea of harassing with a Reaper right here is it's so unlikely. I mean, there's not all that many ways that you can really get into the base, although there is this tiny little area at the back that you can exploit. But the old opening up with the Reaper strategy is quite common for a lot of players. The thing is, this is Select we're talking about. Select doesn't do common. That's not how he rolls. So if you see anything unusual, just palm it off as being Select, being flexible. I wouldn't call him crazy. I mean, he's not crazy on the level of KatZ. That's the thing. Select is a very consistent player and is doing very, very well. In recent tournaments, he has performed exceptionally, including, of course, the MLG, which is an extremely well-known tournament series. A lot of money on the line for that one. He performed very, very well in that indeed. And Team Dignitas is actually proving to be a potent force in the European StarCraft scene, as well as now some of the American tournaments. Naniwa, one of the Dignitas members, the Protoss player, alongside Select for Dignitas, is doing so very well in the scene, and his Protoss play is argued to be one of the best outside of South Korea, if not the best right now. And you know what? They might be right. They really might be right. He's certainly competitive with guys like White Ra. In the meantime, what can we expect to see from KatZ? Well, he's got 2 more roaches coming in, so he's looking for some early aggression. A force of 6 roaches rolling out right now as he tries to expand. Select moving in with the defenses. He is lacking marauders, which is going to be quite critical. He is looking for double factory, which would indicate to me some early Hellion play, but you never know, folks. You never know with Select. Could be all manner of different things. Hellions into Thors, siege tanks, hell, who knows? KatZ rolling out right now. 6 roaches and a single bunker to defend. A second one coming down that should be denied, I would think. Should be able to snipe that off fairly easily. He does have the force that he needs, although one roach kind of lagging behind right now. Needs to get in there immediately if he wants to stop that second bunker from going up. However, there's not a lot of firepower in Select's defense. Only 5 Marines right now, but they'll still be able to inflict a lot of damage on those roaches. He needs to start focusing on immediately. Takes 1 SCV, takes 2 looks for the 3rd one. And the Marine outside of the bunker, well, that didn't happen. More Marines coming in right now. Now, actually, KatZ is not going to be able to break this line. Holding the line as much as he can. He needs to get through there. He loses another roach. However, he is on the way. And in the meantime, Select on the pursuit right now immediately. Trying to bring those roaches down as much as possible. A siege tank will come out, which will be able to clear those up immediately, even without the siege tank. Going into the economic line of Select. Takes 1. Looks for the 2nd. However, siege tank fire coming down. Roaches defeated in a sound manner. And economically, though, Select did take a lot of damage. He threw away a lot of SCVs in the process. And KatZ does have a lead on him in that regard, so he may be able to prosecute that lead as he goes forward. A couple more roaches coming out for KatZ. However, he does have the speedling upgrade coming up, metabolic boost, as well as a couple more extractors coming out as well, looking perhaps to take up to lair quite quickly, get some mutalisks on the field, get some infestors on the way. And what he actually managed to do, which was pretty important, was to delay Select Infernal Pre-Igniter Hellions. They are on the way now, however. The economy of Select is rebuilding fairly rapidly. He should be able to compensate for that with the mules from those 2 orbital command centers. In come the Hellions. And is KatZ ready to intercept? Well, he has control of the Zelnaga Watchtower. However, it was a bait and switch, folks. Select jukes his way past there, straight through the defenses. And that Spinecrawler won't be up in time either. Infernal Pre-Igniter, by the looks of it, is looking to be complete right now. No, it isn't actually. He's cancelled out of it. Never mind. Decides he doesn't need it. He's going for some siege tanks instead. Still able to do a lot of damage, even though he doesn't have Infernal Pre-Igniter. Pushing forward once again, doing as much damage as he can to that economic line, and it's doing very, very well, in fact. Roach is moving in to try and flank it. That Hellion took plenty of kills right there. And looks for yet more damage. Can he take 1 more out of it? It's looking pretty unlikely, but there you go. He does it anyway. Nicely done there by Select. And he might even... Now, he's not going to escape with that. That would be ridiculous. But he does transition through into attacking the other mineral line, which, of course, his opponent was not ready to respond to. Too slow movement right there. No Spinecrawler in the back. Can he take any more drones with this? No, he can't. Queen will take it out. Oh, he takes a drone as the final death throes of that Hellion echo throughout the valleys. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And as a direct result of that, he's been able to make up quite a bit of the economic disadvantage. But still, KatZ has been popping out so many drones in the process that it really doesn't matter all that much. But he has forced his opponent to not build as large an army, and Select is now able to apply pressure with siege tanks. My, oh my, oh my. This will be interesting, will it not? Streaming across the field right now. Here we go. Now, let's have a look and see what's actually going on at this front line, this defense right here for KatZ. It is not looking strong at all. Against 4 siege tanks, with siege tech, backed up by Hellions, Marine, and SCVs, Select is going to be able to inflict a large amount of damage right here, and I'm not entirely convinced that KatZ is really ready to receive that. He doesn't have mutalisks, and in we go. SCVs trying to hold the line as much as they can, taking casualties. He loses 1 tank, looks to lose the 2nd, but it doesn't happen. And Select now able to deploy, and of course will be able to repair those damaged siege tanks, and KatZ doesn't have anything to respond to that with right now. Doesn't matter how many Zerglings you throw at that, you're still going to take tremendous losses, and the economy of KatZ is going to take some shelling right now. In it comes, and a smart move there by KatZ, actually forcing his opponent all the way to the back, and then the shelling of those tanks actually landed on the Marine. Great defense as Select comes in at the last possible moment to save those SCVs from the harassment of those Zerglings. They would have been torn apart, folks, and that's not what you want if you want to be an SCV pilot. It's a minimum wage job, and it's highly dangerous. No hazard pay for them. In he goes once again, and looks to try and force, and he manages it, in fact. Once again, the siege tanks raining down salvos on their own troops. The sacrifice is required. However, that hatchery is in a lot of trouble. The shelling keeps coming in. It is in the red, folks. Hellions continue to drive it away, and it looks like that's going down. It will not survive the incessant and unstoppable shelling of DSeleCT, and now he starts to push forward. He has a good containment. However, bear in mind that if the Spire comes up, real damage starts to be done there, then he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Did DSeleCT scout the Spire? More to the point, he did not see it, in fact. The surround comes in, but huge amounts of economic damage done. Wow. Bear in mind, a couple of minutes ago, he had about 52 harvesters. He's now on 25, and he's lost an expansion. He has expanded behind his opponent, which hasn't been noticed yet by DSeleCT, but that's really not going to matter, because DSeleCT continues with this push. Bunkers going down, a staggered approach, moving forward as rapidly as he can with these tanks. Evolution Chamber taking a huge amount of damage. It will be able to complete its research before it dies, so that's fairly critical. However, this economy of cats is in a mess. What can he do? Mutalisks is the simple answer to that. If he's able to get the Mutalisks out, he can clean this up quite easily, but his economy is battered. He doesn't really have what he needs to defend it right now. Way more damage raining down. Another Evolution Chamber going down. He might even lose the Infestation Pit as well, which would not be ideal at all. Mutalisks are so close to completion right now. They are the salvation, but it is taking him so long to get that rolling. And his units are divided, and his bases are divided. Here they come. Mutalisks on the field, and DSeleCT is not prepared to deal with that at all. No missile turrets down. No Marines or Vikings to support that one. Takes the Queen out as he retreats, however. How many siege tanks will really go down right here? Trying to clear out the bunkers and actually focusing too much on the bunkers. Not enough of the siege tanks. It looks like DSeleCT will not hold that, but he will find the base, and it might even go down as well. Will the Mutalisks be able to blow it up in time? Yes, they will. They clean it up just as it hits red health. It's still not good right now for DSeleCT. He is on the back foot, and Hellions Infernal Pre-Igniter on it right now. Slips into the line and deals yet more damage to the beleaguered economy of DSeleCT. Now down to 17. Not what you want at all, is it? Not what you want. Here comes the counter-attack, however. DSeleCT into the line with as many Mutalisks as he can. Chewing his way through the harvester count right now of DSeleCT, who has absolutely no anti-air defense except for those two Thors that he brings from the back right now. DSeleCT rapidly realizing this is a battle he cannot win, backing away immediately. That barracks just refuses to die, folks. It refuses to die. DSeleCT's hatchery is in a state right now. Couple of good tank shots will bring that down. In fact, Thors will be able to easily eliminate it. However, DSeleCT is looking to be a little bit defensive right now. He is concerned about the presence of Mutalisks in the armed forces of his opponent, and I don't really blame him. DSeleCT with 11 Mutalisks looking for an opening. Can he find one? He can. He could go in here. 11 Mutalisks might be enough, but it won't be enough to deal with that because two more Thors pop out of nowhere. This is unbelievable that DSeleCT is actually sticking around, and that was a real mistake as far as I'm concerned. Really was. I think it was caught completely off guard by the sudden building of those two Thors out of nowhere, and he lost a ton of Mutalisks, and he can't afford to do that. His harvest account, his economy is in no state to sustain those kind of losses. That was a critical misstep. In the meantime, DSeleCT is very easily able to saturate that mineral line. In fact, as far as I can tell, he's actually got far, far too many SCVs on the field. He could easily expand, which is what he's looking to do. However, he hasn't actually deployed anything right now. He's perhaps a little bit concerned about the presence of those Mutalisks, and I wouldn't really blame him. In the meantime, Infestors are on the way for DSeleCT. He's not out of the game yet, but he is playing from a position of weakness, let's be honest. DSeleCT is the dominant player right now. DSeleCT has the armed forces he needs to really make the difference, and however, DSeleCT will not let him expand too rapidly right now. The Thors need to get into play. He's probably not going to lose that command center, and DSeleCT, realizing he can't throw away any more Mutalisks, backs away almost immediately. He has to conserve his forces right now. He has to rebuild, and then he has to start dealing some decisive blows to his opponent, and that one bit of economic harassment really didn't make too much of a difference, because DSeleCT had so many spare SCVs anyway, it didn't make too much of a difference at all. So good, you got to say it twice, folks. Now, 111 supply versus 74. There's the re-expansion right here by DSeleCT, looking to try and get his economy back in order. Neuroparasite coming up to try and deal with those Thors. The question is, when will DSeleCT choose to push? He knows he's dealt critical damage, but the last thing you want to do is let a Zerg player rebuild. Not a sensible idea at all, and a little bit of a mistake by DSeleCT moving out with those Hellions without any air cover, bearing in mind that his opponent still has Mutalisks in the air, and he was well aware of that. However, he's managed to bait and switch and move away from them, and where is the defense? Well, he does have Infestors, so he should be able to take them down with some fungal growth, but not before, I would imagine. He's going to lose quite a few drones in the process. Look at that. Oh, wow! a huge pile of burning drones. That was the worst positioning imaginable right there for KatZ. Takes out yet more. That entire mineral line just got gutted. And while he loses the Hellions, that was a worthwhile attack right there for Select. And once again, putting his opponent on the back foot in terms of his economy. Not what you want. He's been just stuck the entire game. He had a brief moment where he was ahead, and then has just been driven backwards over and over and over again by Select's unstoppable and insatiable harassment. He will not stop until everything that KatZ knows and loves is destroyed, wiped off the face of this planet, eradicated from the goddamn galaxy. And he's gone right back into his heavy mechanized approach, and you know what? It might just work. However, there are infestors on the field. There will be 10 by the time that Select hits, so this could still be a little bit risky. A fully mechanized approach right here for Select. Infernal Pre-Igniter Hellions, upgraded siege tanks, looking for level 3 on the vehicle weapons as well, and a bunch of Thors at the back. Those Mutalisks will not last 5 seconds against that number of Thors, and indeed, not much else will either. That's my concern. The forces of KatZ are looking particularly bad. He is relying purely on infestors. And he does have the energy to grab all of those Thors. He'd be able to clean up that force perhaps. But still, I think the siege tanks will be able to gut those infestors very rapidly. And it might not work out so well. Let's find out, because here we go. Look for the deployment right here. And unfortunately, I think he ended up raining it down on his own troops right there, because they were just a little bit too close. Mass Neural Parasite is ineffective. Select is able to tear his way through there. I think KatZ actually was a little bit impatient there. Tried to grab the siege tanks and deploy them, which did very little, and actually ended up getting his own units destroyed. In the meantime, Select is marching forth with a force of 9 siege tanks and 6 Thors. 7 Mutalisks is all that KatZ has. I really don't think he's going to be able to come back from this. He looks for it anyway, dives into the line with a brave assault, but you know nothing will live under that many Javelin missile launchers. It's not going to happen. The air is darkened with the blood of KatZ Air Force. And GG, ladies and gentlemen. And Select now 2-1 up in this best of 5 series, going forward right now, looking to knock KatZ down to the loser's bracket. It's risky stuff, folks. KatZ has got to pull something very special to come back from this, and Select's heavy mechanized approach working extremely well after an excellent set of bunker contain and harassment at the start of the game. Oh yes, folks, this is the hottest StarCraft action you will find right now. My name is Total Biscuit, and I'm bringing it all to you, and hopefully you are having as much fun as I am. We've got more matches to come, so don't go anywhere.